the chocolate you'll see in this video to attempt the Guinness World Record for the world's largest chocolate bar. And it all starts with the cacao tree. This right here is where it all begins. This little flower here will eventually grow into a pod, which will eventually grow into something slightly bigger, then even bigger, and then finally into something like this. So yes, technically, chocolate does grow on trees. So now that you have some context on where cacao comes from, I'm going to introduce you to a really close friend of mine, who I call the modern day Willy Wonka. He's a little crazy, but he knows more about chocolate than anyone on this planet.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, Dad.
You come to see some cacao?
I'm ready for chocolate.
Please like and subscribe.
So these guys have already picked a bunch of pods for us to look at. Oh my gosh! Cacao really kind of does look like a big ice cream cone. The seeds can come right off of the cacao pod like that. This is all going to be opened up now so they can take the seeds out.
There's no machine. All the chocolate that we eat is harvested by hand.
For the world record that we're going to attempt later in this video, we need 250,000 cacao pods. So this is just the start. So you can eat this right now. And you suck off all the white pulp on the outside of each seed.
When you don't dry the cacao beans, they're purple inside.
It tastes a little bit like lychee, pineapple, citrusy, kind of almost like a bit of a sour banana sometimes. It's phenomenal. There are two main things you can do with this cacao fruit.
You can drink the juice of the cacao fruit.
Think of cacao water like coconut water, but 10 times better. And then, what's the other thing?
Obviously chocolate. You take the beans, ferment them, grind them, turn them into chocolate.
Let's go see how it's made.
That's it.
Before we go to the actual chocolate factory, we're at the place where they make the cacao water.
We separate the pulp from the beans. Beans goes to make chocolate, pulp goes to make cacao water. We put it into the cold press machine, getting all the cacao water out.
And that's going to be the freshest cacao water you'll ever taste.
Ever.
It looks a little like coconut water. It gives you a little bit of a kick that you get from biting a lemon slice, and it just tastes kind of tropical. Chocolate is bitter, sometimes sour, earthy. This is sweet, fresh, citrusy, but never in a million years would you think that this kind of flavor is associated with chocolate. If you want to get creative, you can also turn this fruit pulp into cacao fruit leather. You guys know how much I love making fruit leather. Or even these chewy cacao fruit snacks, which look a lot like ground turkey while they're being made. But now that we've seen how you can use that fruity outer part of the beans, we'll go see how the inside of the bean is used to make chocolate. We made it to the chocolate factory, and take a guess at what's in all these different bags around me. If you guess cacao beans, you'd be right. But these beans can't go inside the factory until they've been fermented and dried. Fermenting the beans is an important step that allows them to develop all of that chocolatey flavor. In about a week, they'll go from looking like this to something like this.
You can smell their
They smell a little bit, yeah, like a little bit like yeasty sourdough bread.
Exactly.
What would a chocolate bar taste like if you didn't ferment?
Very bland, flat. Probably just bitter, boring, nothing like interesting. And then you take this to the drying process.
Once all the cacao is laid out to dry, it just sits here in the hot Ecuadorian sun. And there's so much of it that I can literally make a chocolate snow angel. All these seeds that are drying here, they flip them over every 15 to 30 minutes to make sure that they're constantly being moved, and then new ones are in the sun to dry. And we haven't made chocolate yet, but it's already starting to smell like chocolate. So once the seeds are nice and dry, they're all broken open like this, and on the inside we get what looks a lot like a dinosaur egg. But if you actually break all of this apart in your hand and crumble it up a little bit, those are cacao nibs. People put them on things like smoothie bowls all the time, but if you grind these together into a paste, sort of like if you grind peanuts into peanut butter, it makes this sort of chocolate paste, which we're going to go see now. Welcome to the Hershey's Chocolate Factory. This is about as close as you're ever going to get to real-life Willy Wonka. You can see here that they have this huge hose with perfectly smooth chocolate paste, but just moments ago, that chocolate paste was in the form of these cacao nibs. So this liquid chocolate paste can literally be turned into anything now. It's like eating a liquid chocolate. It is like, how could you not like it? Now that we're in the Hershey's Chocolate Factory, I have two goals today. First, I want to see how Hershey's Kisses are made, because I've seen some cool videos online and it looks awesome. And second, we need to make some chocolate bars. So now we're in the room where the Hershey's Kisses are made. In front of us is this giant crazy machine that's pumping out Hershey's Kisses 24 hours a day. There's some debate as to why historically they've been called Kisses. So Milton Hershey developed the Kisses in the early 1900s. Story goes that because of the product kissing the belt, that's how the name was created. I mean, seeing this right now, that would be my guess. And you make 70 million of these every single day. 70 million kisses a day. After the depositors, now we go through the cooling tunnel where we cool the kisses so they're solid. Look how long this tunnel goes down. I can hardly even see the end of it. There's a continuous belt that the kisses ride on, going through cooling, so that way the kiss is hardened. You can see a small break right here in the tunnel. This is where our operators can do their quality checks. They take kisses offline, check to make sure that the shape is correct, and they also weigh them off to make sure that they are the correct weight. And so that's a laser that's checking every single Hershey's Kiss to make sure that it's the perfect little shape. I love how they're all kind of taking a little jump right there too. Now finally the exit here, and now they're cool, right? They're ready for packaging now. Kisses come here onto the belt, they go through a system of laning that gets them ready to go into the individual wrappers. Look at that, what a cool view. I wonder how many Hershey's Kisses I've eaten in my life. Like a good chunk of this assembly line. As you see here, we've got the further separation or chicaning of the Kisses so they can go into the infields of the wrappers. And they're just coming off the line. They look so perfect. That's the goal. So you see the shape of the Kiss with it has a little bit of a bevel on the bottom and it comes up to a point at the top. And the nice thing is most of the time they end up looking like this when you get it in the package. Sometimes you put it in your pocket, it melts, you ruin your pants. So now that we've inspected all the Hershey's Kisses, they're good to keep moving. From here, they'll start to get diverted to either side to go to one of these wrapping machines. So as the belt empties out here, this arm comes out to pull more Kisses into the infeed. Just tons of Hershey's Kisses, and they're all doing the same thing. Everything is mesmerizing. I appreciate Hershey's Kisses so much more right now. From here, from this infeed belt, the Kisses then are single filed through this chicaning system here so that they can go individually into the wrapper to have the flag and foil applied and then wrapped. So as the Kisses come out of the conveyor, they go down this chute and onto then a conveyor belt. We have that spiral in there so that way we're handling the Kisses as delicately as possible so that they look as pristine to the consumer as they do when they come off the line. So they all get sorted by that big machine and then they come here to get individually weighed and measured out. The Kisses are coming through. We got a vibratory conveyor to feed them in, and then each of these individual buckets has weigh hopper scales to know how much Kisses are in it. The computer system inside the bagger then drops the right combination of scales to make the target weight for whatever bag size we're running. After all the Kisses are sorted out, now we have to package them into bags, and this roll right here is where it all starts. So the Kisses have been weighed out to the perfect amount, and then they drop through here and go straight into these bags. Which then go onto this conveyor belt right here. And that conveyor belt will take them to our case packer. So the bags come down the conveyor, the robotic arm then is placing them into the case into the right configuration based on the item that we're running. After the cases are filled, they come through and they go through a vibrator to shake out the bags inside the case to make sure that they fill in properly. The robotic head now is going to go over and it's going to pick up cases and it's going to put them on in the right orientation that it needs for the load that's building. And this is a finished bag. I can open it? We can open it here, yep. Oh, it even smells fresh. You can smell the chocolate. And they look good. It passes the inspection for me again. This is the start of the chocolate bar process. We're running extra large bars today on this line. And obviously we need extra large chocolate bars to try to break the world record later, so this makes a lot of sense. So the molds come through here, they're tempered to the right temperature before they go into the depositor. And then the depositor is dropping the right amount of chocolate into each of those cavities of the mold. After the chocolate is turned in the mold, we've got to get the chocolate into the whole cavity of the mold. So through this cabinet, the molds go side to side, and through vibration, the molds get shaken and the chocolate distributes throughout the whole mold. So we're trying to get air bubbles out and fill up the whole cavity. So the candy comes out of the shaker cabinet and then it goes into our cooler. This is me for scale, the big fridge. And you can totally see now that they're already cooled off. You know when you've been at home and you have an ice tray that you're trying to get the ice out of, and you kind of bend the ice tray on either side to push the ice out? That's what's happening right here with all these chocolate bars. This machine is basically doing exactly that. So after the mold twisters, the candy goes through the demolding cabinet where the molds are turned upside down and the chocolate is separated from the mold and onto the demolding belt. And then this belt is timing